Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the breakfast show. Now, for those of you may have known, if you've seen the advertisement just before you come in here, it's the winner of our Macquarie Trade VSA shout out contest, and we have 10 winners yesterday afternoon. And those of you who have participated, thank you for your contribution and thank you for your support, and also thank you for tagging your friends, and you do get that 50 ringgit voucher sponsored by Macquarie. Of course, let's not look at it. They have a couple of promotion. Also, don't forget our Rakuten millionaire with opening account with Rakuten Trade continue to open, and we probably have something in store for you that will benefit in your wealth building activity going forward for year 2021. Let's get started, shall we? Now, in this Wednesday, we are in almost the second half of the year. Time has passes fast, and those of you who have been following me on our breakfast show for the last 6 months, you have seen how I'm able to explain to you the condition of the market by using our very popular and famous going Pentagon Guider, and that has probably helped many of our investor friends and traders to stay in and stay out by following some of the simple rules that we have. We also talk about that, and also don't forget, last Saturday we did have our modern value investing, and we are continuing with the part 2 of this Saturday. That's right, at 2 p.m. I'll give you more information about that, but early on you may have seen the QR code on our earlier screen play, and maybe you can join us this Saturday. But let's get on to what we have for you this morning. That's right. Now, this morning in here, congratulations again to all our warrant shout out contests. Shabas. So you have 50 ringgit to use up. And for those of you who have not got it yet, do join us for our next warrant shout out. Will be in the first Tuesday of the month. So check out our Telegram chat room for the detail too. And let's go on to of course, we do continue to have our Rakuten trade, or the Rakuten 100 million points they're giving out, and you stand a chance to win a 50 ringgit brokerage rebate. Why not? That's something good too, or equivalent to 5,000 Rakuten points. Now, Wednesday is definitely on the trending stock. So I have looked at some couple of trending stock as well from the KLSE market, and also the S&P 500, not forgetting also the SGX market, and probably looking at the new sentiment that we have for you in here. So much so, let's look at the headline that we have for you. Definitely one of the first headline is the interest rate, which we talk about it. Right now, many of the economists are focusing on, with the continuing extension of lockdown, not knowing where we get out, and the cases of COVID continue to be high, and that is putting a lot of pressure both on economy and also social. And many of the family, you could see the white flag, which is really trending up in the social media, and that continue to hawk many of the people how difficult it is. So there are all those aspects of it such that Bank Negara will not lower the interest rate, will just maintain it at 1.75. As I said before, many of the retiree and in Malaysia have very high saving rates, and they need this 1.75 any rates that's going down more, and also to stimulate the what we call the property sector the continue of it. So having said that, inflation is staying around 3 to 3.5% for the full year, and central bank has a forecast about 2.5 to 4. So that is still pretty much within the time frame, and I don't expect this interest rate to change pretty much for the next to end of even 2022, right? I think lower interest rate may not be that good. All right. Now the next news is a lot got to focus on why we do SMARTRobie for the US S&P 500. Now, a new services or a new trading platform has been launched by MIDF Invest, and this is hogging the local headline in here. Of course, that is also good, which we always been talking about, more fishing pond for our Malaysian investor and trader. So this story talks about the sophistication of Malaysian investor, and that is only true what we call education, right? Education, knowing beyond just, the penny stocks that we have in Malaysia. Now, the article talk about Malaysian investor being more sophisticated, and those of you who've been following us, I'm sure with SMARTRobie, that has got you a bit smarter, isn't it? And the growing interest in investing in other countries in United States. We here in the Breakfast Show and also in Trade VSA has been promoting for extensive market in here to see where the trend is, to see where the fishes are. And I do think that the one of the big challenges is also about transferring money over and the commission. Currently, the cross-border commission continue to be rather expensive. Now, through this MIDF joint venture with Saxo Bank, which is actually a Danish broker house, which offer very reasonable commission in here. They are here right now in Malaysia. I'm still studying and evaluating it, but take note, another services which you see on top here, Rakuten, is also projected to coming out with their own US market too. And this was on previously in the news that we've seen in April. They will be launching also the US market in here. So at the end of it, I think this is great benefit for all of us in Malaysia. In the past where, we only complain of one market, right now we have many markets to look at and many ways to grow wealth in some of the top US brands as well as the global brands that we have in here. Good news for Malaysians. Okay, right now also in the aspect of trading more market international investor is the CPO market. Now, if you look from here, the CPO market continued to be very trending up in terms of the volume in here. So the market is looking for an evening session that will begin on the fourth quarter of 2021, which means usually the CPO market closes at 6 o'clock. I think they will open probably just a half an hour break, and that should go around to the 10 o'clock, coincide with also the European trading and as well as the US trading too. And this will give many of our Malaysians, especially those of you who are daily CPO trader, a chance to trade after work. After all, there is an opportunity right now to earn a second income through this. So I think that is a great incentive for many of you to learn how to trade. And if you do see a good trend in the CPO market, which we did see previously, and it tend to be very volatile. That's why education is important, and this is something also we teach in our masterclass CPO futures by our coach Ari. So take note of this too. Next news is on the Aeon Credit, which is one of our stock trade idea that we talk about it. So Aeon Credit came out and reported the earnings, which is up 520% in the first quarter. Of course, the last quarter was due to the impairment losses that they declared and the prudent cost management in there. Group revenue rose to 410 million compared to 389 million from the corresponding last quarter. Transaction has also increased. I think this is also through a lot of e-commerce in their prospect. The position to grow through digital transformation, which is very similar to Mr. DIY Shop. All these are making some sort of headroom in the retail. Let's take a look at the Aeon first. But before that, let's check out the market, what we've seen so far. As I said before, this is just tap in the KLCI market in here, and you would see the yellow trend zone, right? The yellow trend zone just above me and just switching the white up. That means the trend continued to head downwards as we are touching 530 in here. Now, the sooner the geopolitical situation in Malaysia with the reconvening for the parliament, and also the sooner we get out from this EMCO, especially the Wilayah and the Selangor one, then we will see a bit more trend moving up. If not, the trend is biased towards the downside or a little bit on the sideway market in here. Any big chance to look for to buy, to be frank with you, and of course you can also wait for the green pentagon to really look into this market. I do feel that this is an opportunity for the big wash before we have some sort of a minor rally in the KLCI market, and usually we do see this market going about. Overall, if you look back in the last 5-year trend of the KLCI market, many of you would agree with me, what we see so far has been not so good lah. All right, so Aeon Credit, let's take a look at Aeon Credit in here this morning. So type Aeon, A-E-O-N, E-O-N, okay. So Aeon Credit we have here. Let's look at the stock chart and the stock price. Right, it has broken to the to the downside, again, following with the lockdown in here. Sentiment continue to be weak, as I said before in here. Probably this morning will show a price gain, maybe 1%. Yep, 3% in here. So the market gaps up in here. But take note, on the weak market like this, normally when the market gaps up, it is profit taking, right? The gaps will, and we probably see Aeon Credit continue to move higher, probably in a 1 month or 2 months from now, due to the what we call the weakening market sentiment right now. Okay, not too bad. We have seen Aeon Credit. Let's move on to our next story that we have inside here. Now the next story is on Solarvest. All right, on Solarvest, the RHB research puts it a neutral recommendation with a target price of 132, because they are likely to win more large scale project LSS. But again, having said that, the green energy are picking up also in US, so that will in turn move this. But again, going back to the same reason that we've seen of a poorer bearish sentiment that we see in here, that seems to drag also SL West. Okay, SL West. And let's take a look at the stock chart here, switching to a wider chart. So you can see we've been seeing a really downtrend from where it was previously, almost around 1 ringgit, just short of 165. Right now it's about 120, a drop of almost 40% from the old high way back in early April in here. So right now the analyst is giving a lower profit target price, you can see above in here at 130.32, which is almost the last high that we've seen here. Not much of really of an upside in here. Again, if you really want to buy this, just have to wait for the green pentagon and continue to follow the pentagon guided chart on a very regular basis in here. All right, now let's move our attention right now to the US, where also one of the so-called institutional leader, one of the big boss from the MIDF Invest, Dr. Charon, did say opportunity is in the US market in here. Now last night we did see the US market continue to fall 200 points. Of course, why? The reason is because every time when the market go a bit high, let's take a look at the market right now. Right, the Dow Jones switching into S&P 500 to SMARTRobie in here, and whenever you get some sort of a market new high, you will see a correction. So earlier from here, you can see S&P 500 hitting the new high with the green pentagon, continue to go higher. So minor correction is expected in here. Okay, so Dow Jones continue to correct, and this was also due to the DD, which is a new IPO similar to Grab being listed. And what happened? There was a crackdown on the China government to take that apps out from the Google Play Store and Apple iOS. That has created some sort of GT, because due to the violation of the data, right, when people store your data unnecessary in here. And also OPEC decided to have some sort of a price movement in here. I'm not sure whether OPEC want to cut or OPEC want to increase the quota of the oil, and that seems to jitter the market too. Of course, if you look at the market right now that we in here, yesterday Baidu fell almost 5%. We got Tesla falling 2%. The big gainer was on Amazon. That's right, because of the news yesterday that we saw here. No, not this news. The US government had decided to cut the huge crowd contract to two sites. One to used to be to Microsoft, but right now they are giving also to Amazon in here. So Amazon is becoming even a greater giant in here. Let's see, was there a big decline in Microsoft yesterday? This wasn't in here. Apple continued to heat up to $142. We did say the old resistance for Apple is about $139. Right now it's $142. Of course, Apple is one of the big components. I always tell people to buy some. Let's take a look at Apple in here. It doesn't take a genius, especially those of you who are familiar with SMARTRobie, to buy into this. And you could see from the green pentagon, very nicely done. That's 6th of June right now, almost just 1 month, right? You can see. And how much of a profit could you get? 11% profit, and also a very good dividend too player in here. As I said before, there is a lot of opportunity in here by just following the smart by the green pentagon and use SMARTRobie as your trainer for the US market here right now. Now, the interesting stocks that we're going to talk about today for the US market is definitely American Express, as Goldman Sachs, one of the big researchers, just like you have it in Malaysia, RHB, UOB, KL, Maybanks. Goldman Sachs said that American Express stock has a 36% upside. Take it with a pinch of salt, of course. And other consumer services are doing well. Discover and PayPal, which many of you who came to my masterclass would have known. I've talked about Apple and PayPal too. Just take note of that one, okay, guys? And this really has a lot of trends. So the US financial stock has good trends, as I said before, all right? So the good trends continue to move up. And let me just show you what I mean, okay? Okay, has good trends. So let's take a look at Goldman Sachs. So sorry, not Goldman Sachs, American Express. So just switch over. Yeah, we are already America here, the US. So AMRI, America Express. So that leads to AXP. So you can check out AXP in here right now, AXP, and go on to stock chart. And that tells you a very easy trend to trade. This one here continue to be up April all the way, but doing in between there are what we call the yellow trend zone, because there was a sell-off, but the market continued to push up. And who knows, you know, right now we have this green pentagon. The market pull back a bit, as again, you know, every time when it hit new high, the market will correct. So what we have seen so far right now is going to be quite interesting. If Goldman Sachs says that American Express have 36% upside from in here, right? So two things going to happen. The market will pull back, first scenario. Second scenario is that this market will continue to go up, maybe hitting $180. So remember, American Express is also one of the components that tells you Dow Jones will continue to break new high, S&P new high, and also probably Nasdaq is going high. Now take a look also at the 10-year treasury yield on your trading view. That has gone below the 1.4. So whenever low interest rate, as I said before, low interest rate do come down, all the tech stock will jalan, and we can see Apple, that's why hitting 142. And I do think that this trend will continue to come to the Malaysian market. That's why later on when I talk about the trending ideas, okay, the trending ideas of the stock for today, you will see some of the sectors that I talk about are actually tech stock. Now let's move on to our neighbors on the SGX market in here. Now SGX again, let's switch over here to the Singapore SGX hitting the SMARTRobie. Of course, first thing you want to do is look at the STI market this morning here, and wow, look at that one. Last night, right, you can see STI market finally turn green pentagon. So Malaysia gonna come soon lah, but just have to wait. We just have to wait for it. And this was a huge big boost to the market overall. You can see, let's scroll back to the up, was up almost 26.0.84 in here. So market considered to be bullish. Why? Just turned green pentagon. And you got Sembawang Marine was up. There was a news, and stocks to watch for is Sembawang Marine, because they're doing some sort of right issue in here. Kim Heng Rex Sakura is up 72%, and that's the same news that you can see here. It's about a security company. I think they're getting some projects in here. But let's take a look at this stock. But the trending stock continued to be interested is due to the, on Monday we talked about the LAM Research, which starting establishment in Malaysia. And the LAM Research, which is actually a semiconductor, has some impact to our local stock. Check out those stocks I've talked about previously. But from a Singapore market, is definitely UMS is one in here. So start up UMS, which continue to be one of the stock trade idea that we talk about, 558. And you can see trend is still heading upwards. Okay, so you can see that one's nice. Just green pattern continue to go very similar to Apple in there. Very similar to Apple. And let's take a look at the stock price this morning. The 558. Yes, it's still up 1.3, and that's going to be looking good. Okay, so you can see in here. So let's take a look at Sembawang Marine, which is one of the most active in here. S51. Okay, hit the first item. S51 hit the stock comment, stock chart. So you can see, goodness, this thing has a huge drop that we've seen here so far, breaking below the ATR stop loss from 20 cents to becoming a penny stocks. Okay, so Sembawang Marine has become penny stocks, and usually when penny stocks don't even bother. Okay, no doubt it's one of the heavy volume in here. Does it look like what? It look like server dynamic to you, isn't it? Right? Right. Sell off and write down. So I also don't know what's going on this company. Of course, I haven't been following on Sembawang Marine in here. But those of you who are listening from Singapore, perhaps some of you who trade the SGX can perhaps enlighten us on the comment below in here. But chart wise, if you are trading this as an intraday trader, use the what we call the intraday charts. All right, the chances are better in here. Now let's move on to the next story that we have for you. Definitely the next story will be going back to our leaderboard. That's right, for KLCI in here, and continue to make some. Now last week our May bout has pretty much continued the trend that we've seen. Let's take a look at the May bout that we have so far. Let me just bring out the chart here. Okay, May bout, which we picked last week, and let's look at May bout. It's also one of the, this is the, let's switch to a daily chart. Last week, 30th of June. Okay, this was 30th of June was here. Yeah, 30th of June was here. Yes, it did push up by 73, 76. Let's see how many percent did it go up. Somewhere around here. Yeah, just 4%, but it's still making good progress compared to the overall KLC market continue to go down. So Maybach did good, but take note of the old high around the 84, 85 cents. That is where you will likely to see a double top profit taking will take place. All right, double top take place. Those of you who are trading discussion, you might want to take a look at that one. But other than that, the green pentagon picks up very well, similar to some of the stocks that we talk about, like American Express or Apple, continue to move higher. Also check out Amazon too. One of the reasons that it should do pretty well. Let's take a look at the stock trade idea that I have for you for this morning here. Right, it's no other than, again, technology based. As I said before, the technology. Let's switch over to the US S&P 500, hitting the SMARTRobie and taking a look at the what we call the hot sectors. Okay, so you look at the hot sectors here. Technology, right? Technology is hot. And let's take a look at the Malaysia one. Let's see whether it is the hot sector. So this is one way you can actually check the hot sector. Also technology. Let's take a look at Singapore here, SGX. All right, now do take note, Singapore mainly they have a lot. Oh, it's energy technology. So that what that says, technology is very, very hot lah. All right, energy we all know, right? Because of the oil concern going up to 74, and they are all contrary to talk about oil even going up to $100. Whether it's true or not, again, check the chart. But let's take a look at the trending stocks that we have inside here. JHM. All right, JHM is our stock trade idea for this morning. Nice one done since 30th of June. Yeah, we have this nice breakout, 7%. Nice pullback in here, JHM. Let's take a look at the other one is MI Technology. Also very similar, a lot of nice pullback gradually. And at one point of time when I suppose the lockdown, okay, has been lifted, you'll see some of these stocks start to move up. That's my personal opinion. Giving up to the stock still looks good. A lot of NS. You can see there's two NS there, and that's one of the best SOS signs of strength that we talk about in here. Okay, so take note. Those are the two stock trade idea that we have for episode 89, 7th of July. Now, of course, let's look at the news discovery that we have for this morning in here for the KLCI. I would think, let me switch to the KLCI sentiment. KLCI sentiment continued to be positive, as I said before, fell in the early, settled slightly higher on midday. AirAsia foreign jumps to 20% for the first time since in 2001. Some property, M still 40 million. Okay, then you have MBSB, Malaysia to receive 40 million of vaccine in July of that. So not much of a big news that we've seen so far in here. Interested to note that. Okay, let's move on to the update that we have for you for our KLCI portfolio update. Just a quick one in here. If you do notice, our 17% that we have previously, due to the two cut loss that we are back down to about 12% in here. Now, do take note, whenever we trade the market, we have winners and we have losers. So this is actually a living piece. We will definitely update this to you on Friday. That's right. So how's your portfolio been doing? That's always the question I'm going to ask. Red, green, or don't know IC. All right, I think that's part and parcel why we do this in our breakfast show is to educate you. All right, the more education you have, the better you know when to put your trade, when to stay away from the market, and that's the whole purpose of this in here. Of course, the hot sector just now I've shared with you earlier on was still technology. Now, sign of weakness, this is something I continue to flash. Of course, when the market is bullish, you will see after the line change here that you see LC, market will start to take off, but we don't see that much. Instead, we see a lot of what we saw pullback, but definitely in the US market, there will be a lot of takeoff from here, especially the tech sectors like we saw in Apple. Okay. Now also, this is a QR code for those of you who are first time wanted to learn more about market CNS, no demand. This is do visit and watch it, and there will be more. We're going to talk about it also on this weekend. All right. Of course, this weekend is our part 2 of our treat for our growth investor. Last week we were talking about modern value investing. So this is a QR code. Do sign up. And the workshop, do come prepared, please. I know some of you are driving, will be out there. As I said before, any of our Zoom workshop, always come prepared. When I mean come prepared, get ready your calculator, a pencil, and the ruler. You'll be doing, and also probably a desktop, because you'll be doing some exercises and also running some screener possibility in there. And that's more of a really working workshop that we do for you. It's free, so this workshop, sign up, the QR code sign up is all there. I know some of you aren't prepared in here, or you just want to listen. That's fine too. Anything that you want to. My job is to get you started and move along. And when there's opportunity, you want to be there when the possibility of growing your financial goals. I think that's important too. All right. Again, right now, thank you very much to those of you who has been supporting us over the last weekend and also yesterday on the Warren shout out for your kind feedback that we are given there. And also, if you've done a good job, just go over to Google Play Store and Apple Play Store and give us this feedback. Those are the QR code. And right now, I will be looking at some of the shares that you have. All right. And do let me know what kind of shares you have. Or you want me to take a look at it, that should put you in the right frame of mind. Okay, if you have some, okay, I'm just checking through the chat room there. Okay, and that's from Kenny. Free again. Yeah, we have a lot of free stuff. Right, so make sure you share all the free stuff with many of your friends so they will benefit too. Okay, all right, let's no stocks, or pretty much you guys are covered up as SMARTRobie become a very good trainer both for you in the KLCI market, in the US market, as well in the SGX market. And watch out, we are training another Robie to come online, will be our the Hong Kong market. Okay, so once you have the Hong Kong market, we have the full-fledged of it, and that's really one of the education that we want to do right now. Of course, okay, let's look at Edaran SDS. Okay, Edaran. Okay, Edaran in here continue to go up. As I said before, there is no green pentagon. And usually when you see climatic volume like this is usually distributed. But do take note, for Edaran, do not go into it yet if you're a beginner. Just watch out for this. This is usually the kind of distribution that you get. Two big stocks push up, and when you have this double top inside here, a lot of profit taking will come place. Do take note of this upthrust. Okay, it will attempt to break below. This is where a lot of beginner will probably get caught. They'll buy on the breakout of the 120 in there. No doubt about it, this may be a trade, but you must be fast enough. Do trade intraday, have some sort of real time, be in and out very quickly. You can lose a lot of money if you are slow. But the problem is a lot of the beginners who like to trade this kind of stock, they hear about it, but they don't have the right tools, and they tend to hesitate. Hesitation is not good when you trade this kind of so-called stocks. There have to be some news behind it, how the market push up. But do take note of it. When you see upthrust, usually weakness are coming in. Do take note about it. Okay, SDS. Okay, SDS, green pentagon, double bottom, nice spring, classical pattern in here. Do the trade, all right? And follow the plan. Know where to take profit, know where to move your stop loss. I think this is the one that you go. Okay, let's look at the hibiscus. Hibiscus, in my opinion, should do well because of the continuing oil prices that is going up. But however, you can see, right, the oil prices that is moving up, but the oil sector are not doing so. Now, hibiscus is the same thing. No green pentagon, so stay out. And Dialog also same thing. I think they're all like sideways. You see, all of them, even with the green pentagon they have here, there is no follow through. At one point in time, why? Because our KL sentiment market is bad. You look at it, the KLCI, just switch over the KLCI. We are still in the downtrend, yellow trend zone inside here. So with the downtrend, yellow trend zone, there's not much of impetus to go higher. So that's important why you want to do this kind of thing here. Okay, data prep. I think data prep came out in the Pentagon Guider. Sorry, in the trending. Now this one in here again, data prep started to pull up. No green pentagon because of this almost limit up. And usually when you see climatic volume here, do be careful. 1/3 of the time you'll see a bit of selling, but the other 1/3 of the time is going to move up in here. Data prep. You have a double bottom in here. You got a lot of resistance in here. Trade intraday, this kind of stocks, okay? Trade intraday, your chance. My bet is it's better with the technology stock because those sectors are hot. These sectors are not hot. It could be a one-time effect. Now, K Power is benefiting from the the price that we've seen so far on this K Power. It will be very similar to Server Dynamic too. They all move kind of tandem too. You can see, right? Right now, this is a very good point of a setup in K Power. Low risk. Now use the pullback trade. Now those of you who have come for our masterclass, learn the pullback trade, switch to an hourly chart, and then trade from here onwards. Because right now this is it can move fast, it can move down. Again, K Power. Usually when the market drop this much, use a bit of discretion. Right, there is possibly something not that right about the company here. Again, if you do have a small position and at least learn from something like that, right? Wealth are made from the bigger trends. This one is just good to play with. All right, remember I talk about the rational investor and also the FOMO. All right, and if not, I will talk more this Saturday. That's right. Okay, any more stocks that you want me to look at it while I'm checking? Okay, we got Penta. Penta will be okay, no problem, because all the tech stocks are moving up nicely in here. This is very nice. As I said, this one has a lower risk. Why? You have a big free freedom, big swing freedom to swing back up here eventually in here. It's come down a fair bit, around $5. It will swing back up. My longer bet will be on this kind of stocks. Okay, let's take a look at a few more in here. There's Amel here, some news about EV merge in US. Heard about EV counter from Nasdaq. Okay, yes, I'll be talking about EV on the 17th of June with Macquarie on as well as renewable energy, RE and EV. So we are doing a very thorough research. I will share with you some of those counter that is listed in the Hong Kong as well as also in the US market. Actually EV, there's a fair bit of market and I prefer the ETF going forward in here. Okay, let's take a look at any more shares. Perhaps we will explore them this coming Saturday. That's right, because we use a screener. We can screen for all those EV stocks and you can check it out then. All right, so I suppose that's about it on terms of the stocks that we wanted to study here. And check out the SMARTRobie for the Rakuten trade, and also share it with your friends so they can also log in and trade with the Rakuten for the new trade ideas as well as the new account. Now don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, subscribe so you not miss out to any of our ongoing video that we uploaded in here. And the promotional code, don't forget Raku 100 million when you sign up for Rakuten, and there'll be more great surprises coming out. And for those of you who are first time, thank you for joining our Telegram stock chat room so far in here. I do hope that you are able to share this through and many people were able to enjoy some of the great benefits that we have in here. And don't forget to review us on our Google Play Store, and if you have any question that you really want to ask, just send it to our support in here. If not, I'll see you on Saturday. That's right, on Saturday 2 p.m. So make sure you register for our part 2 of being a growth investor and how to look for those stocks. So we will be busy preparing those for you in here, and come prepared this time. A pencil, a pen, a calculator, and also a laptop. Probably a laptop and a phone like watching me, over it, and at least during this difficult period of EMCO, I'm with you, teaching you how to invest in the market. So that's all I have for you in here, and thank you for sharing, thank you for your support. So we at Trade VSA with SMARTRobie, with our very proud sponsors like Macquarie and Rakuten, bringing you great service and great product. Thank you again. Bye bye.